Like, where the fuck's Eddie at?
I don't know, man. He's always doing something that he ain't supposed to be doing while still doing what he's supposed to be doing, but his stuff ain't working, so I
His
don't
stuff
know.
ain't working. Like, it's weird that his stuff works and it doesn't work. I mean, I'm curious, like, how much porn do you have to watch
Right.
between podcasts to fuck your shit up that bad where you have to reset it?
I'm saying, man, like, and you had time to check all this beforehand. I don't know what he's doing.
He was probably jerking off beforehand and just being like, well, now it's time.
Unprofessional. That's the one
Well,
word that comes
I'd
to mind.
prefer him do it before than, during, because that's a completely different podcast.
With it. That's why I'm mad with it. With it. With it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out the trap with it. Whatever you want, whatever you need, it's on tab. Get it. That's why I'm mad with it. That's why I'm mad with it. That's where I'm at. Okay, you chasing clout? Oh no way, your shit turn.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the episode of I'm Gonna Get in Trouble podcast. I'm your boy Loy Lee. I'm with my homie Terrance G.
Yeet, yeet, skeet, skeet. Very happy to be here, as always.
As always. And Eddie will be here whenever he decides to show up. So that's fun. Our guest, we have a guest who's not here yet. So I don't know what that's about, but we'll figure that out. I will say we'll just happy to see you. Talk to me about how do you feel about the Super Bowl at this moment? Oh, is it too soon?
No, I was talking about it yesterday too, man. It still stings. Feelings are still hurt, but it is what it is, man. In all honesty, to actually have a very recent Super Bowl win, under my fan belt, still it kind of lessens that sting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It still sucks because of course, people that you've never, ever heard of being Buccaneers fans want to come out on posts and comment or in the DM and talk some shit. And it's like, I don't talk shit in general, like we've said before. I've been a Kansas City fan too long. I know they're going to shit the bed. But really, bruh?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel the same way about when the Patriots played the Atlanta Falcons. And like nobody is a Falcon fan. I've been to Atlanta. Nobody's a Falcon fan in Atlanta. But just everyone was getting in my face because I was wearing like my jersey, and everyone was in my face being like, "Oh, look at you guys!" I was like,
"Yeah." People were Philly fans after Philly fans were throwing batteries at Minnesota people, like just to hate on Brady. Like, I can't get on board with throwing full unopened beer bottles and cans and batteries at another, opposing fan base. I just can't get behind it.
Philly's that weird thing, man, where they're notorious for throwing snowballs at Santa.
Yeah, they're fucking one bridge town.
Shout out to Bill Burr.
Yep.
4 minutes. Man, I've been accused of being a Tampa Bay fan. Just because I want my old flame to do well, and it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm happy to see.
You're not a bitter ex.
That's a good
thing. That's a good thing.
We had a good run, kid. We had a good run.
I couldn't believe the amount of people that were crapping on New England fans that were out wearing their Brady jerseys and cheering for the Bucs. It's like, if down the line, Mahomes is even half as great or whatever as Brady has been, and then in the last couple years he decides he's going to move on and not retire a Chief, I'm going to do the same thing I did with Tony Gonzalez. I'm still going to cheer him on. I hope he wins there, just not against us. Like,
yeah,
farewell.
I think that in the jersey rule of thumb is if the player that you're wearing's jersey is no longer on the team, but they want a ring with that team, I think it's fair game. If it's like a Johnny Manziel jersey, I don't know what you're doing in life, but if they want a ring, I think, I can get on board with that.
I would be okay. Yeah, the simple basis of just wearing or earning the ring, that's cool. But we're talking about a dude that literally won more Super Bowls, than anybody. Come on, man.
Right. Even been in, like, the fact that he's been to more Super Bowls than franchises have been in their history. It's like, huh?
Yes.
Do you think that now he's done the impossible? He's the greatest of all time, but now he's the outlier. He's done so well that like he's like the Bill Russell, 11 rings. Like nobody even talks about Bill Russell anymore. Everyone's like Kobe or Jordan.
It's that elite tier that's more than elite, and you get that onesie twosie maybe per lifetime. And I was sitting there saying it with Eddie. What? That's 10 Super Bowls that he's been in with a winning percentage of 70%.
Yeah.
That's unheard of, especially because it's such a team sport. This isn't basketball where 1-2 guys can take it over and really just propel you to a win. You've got to count consistently on 11 dudes on the field at any given time. Incredible.
Yeah, and you know that football is that weird thing where like Brady led them to the Super Bowl, yada yada yada, and everybody wants to say, well, I mean, it's a defense. You could look at any winning championship and be like, yeah, I mean, it was that guy, but it was also the defense. The defense definitely won that game.
Absolutely. And that front seven was nasty. I knew having no starting right tackles, let alone being on like second and third string on a couple of the guards too, I knew that was going to come back and bite us. Be foolish to think that it was going to be anything other than at least a close game. But, I mean, when you have all the duds that happen, the drop passes, the on the face mask, like, yeah, that's a wrap. You can't have that kind of mistake.
I was pumped to see the first the first quarter, even going into the second, it was like a low scoring game, and I could just hear people at the bar crying. I'm like, yes, it's gonna be another defensive championship, and everyone says defense wins championships until defense wins championships, and then everybody fucking hates that shit.
Yeah, that's very true. I got ripped when Kansas City went to the AFC Championship game and went against Tom Brady, and you know the infamous D Ford was over the line on the interception that would have propelled us to the Super Bowl. On that game, there was so many people getting salty about this and that because I said at the end of the day, defense wins championships. However short you want to call it, because in that last 2 minutes, they did enough to stop Kansas City from going. And same thing when it went to the Super Bowl right after that. Defense wins championships. Like, no, the league has changed, yada, yada, yada. Not that much.
Not that much. And, you know, if you want to look at it like defense wins championships, Asante Samuel dropped the interception. It literally hit him in the hands. Yep. And then like 3 plays later I think it was the David Tyree catch. I think those are the 2 Super Bowls. I don't think I'm getting them mixed up, but it was like literally interception, kneel a couple times, and Brady is on to his 8th or his 9th, you know.
Yep.
Defense does win championships, and everyone loves saying that until they have to sit through a defensive, like the Patriots Rams. Everybody hated that one. You're like, no, this is an amazing defensive struggle. Nobody wanted to hear that shit.
Yep.
What do you think? Do you think Patrick Mahomes has just had this horrible game? How do you think he'll bounce back? Like, do you think there's any kind of trauma to it?
I mean, I'm not typically an optimistic dude, especially having a long track record as a Kansas City fan, like I said, of just finding ways to shit the bed and not be good. But this team has at least won me over because they found ways to win the games that they normally would have lost. I'd like to think this is that humbling smack in the mouth that makes him better, pushes the drive. But to be honest, the dude scrambled for like 475 yards just trying to evade the rush. Still threw for, it was an atrocious completion percentage, but still threw for almost 300 yards. Yeah, 2 interceptions. But it's not like that the only 270 yards was on him when you have the big-time guys like Travis Kelce just brick-handing that sumbitch, and it was over. I'd like to think we'll be back. I don't know.
And at some point, like you get so far behind the 8 ball, you're just like, well, we're just going to throw it. We're only throwing it at this point because why even bother try running it?
Andy Reid definitely looked more like Philadelphia head coach Andy Reid in that he did not want to run the ball. And that was very frustrating that it seemed like it was at best augmenting small parts of the game plan at best. So I didn't love it.
Well, hello, Mr. Liles. How are you?
Hello, people. Hello.
It's about time. We were literally thinking, where did he go to work? Did he get called in? Is he like, hey guys, we're gonna start the podcast. I'll be back later.
The system just started messing up on me. I'm kind of happy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, our guest couldn't make it, but yeah. I mean, our next guest, like, I'm glad all of this shit happened now. Or this would have been really weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying you don't give a shit about us? That's how I took that.
I don't give a shit about you, Terrance.
I'm surprised this is still a conversation for you, Terrance. I don't know why you keep on walking into that one.
I just wanted to be out there on public record so everybody understands the level of gaping asshole Eddie Liles is. He's not just
whoa.
Gaping.
Whoa.
Great babe.
Why am I an asshole now? What did I do to you, sir? Besides,
you told us that you didn't give a shit about us, man.
No. I said I didn't give a shit about you. I care about Lloyd. I don't give a shit about you.
See, and then it's targeted now, and plus it's online. This is that cyberbullying they talk about.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, this is online. It's cyberbullying.
I can't really bully you as much as Tom Brady did your team, but you know,
too little, too late. Too little, too little, too late.
Did anyone? So now that Tom Brady's won 7 championships, did anyone buy Lug stock? Or not Lugs, Uggs. Did anyone buy Ugg stocks? I'm just curious.
I don't know, but I do have lugs that look like Uggs. So.
Does Uggs have stock? Is that even
company? I gotta imagine they're probably on the NYSE, man. Gotta be.
Lugs.
Nah, I think they might be underneath somebody else though.
I'm looking right now. Lugs, stock.
No, Lugs. I'm not saying lugs. I said Uggs, dickhead. I don't care about lugs.
That's not true, Eddie. Stop that.
You don't
love
care.
Lugs.
You don't care that you can get 30% off?
This is what we're not going to do, okay? We're not going to continue down this path of this lug. We've done it for 4 episodes now, okay? Can we stop with the lugs? Is that possible?
No. I told you this doesn't end until we get that sponsorship. Number one,
we're not getting a sponsorship from lugs because I'm gonna fucking disrupt that shit like a motherfucker.
You're gonna feel really stupid when Loy and I are millionaires because we took the sponsorship from Lugs and Lugs.com.
If you actually think Lugs.com has fucking millions to give you, you are more delusional than I thought.
Lugs are everywhere.
30% off, winner 30 at Lugs.com and $7 flat rate shipping. Who doesn't have millions?
Anybody, exactly right. I want to make sure this is perfectly clear. Anybody.
They also have women's watching.
No. Let me say this. Let me say this. You can finish. Let me finish real quick. Let me Kanye West this shit real quick. Okay. Anybody that is watching from my profile page, I do not condone this behavior of shitting on shoes and wearing lugs. Okay. Now y'all continue. You Bama-fied Bamas. Go ahead.
There's women's new arrivals at Lugs.com.
But how much is shipping, Terrance?
Oh, isn't it $7 flat rate shipping on any order, or is it free if you have orders over $65? It depends, but the selection
is out. We get sponsored by HBO Max Warriors.
Spring is coming up too. Are you ready to step into the future and step into the post-COVID era? Do so at Lugs.com.
Can I get some like ACGs, but like not Nike versions?
They don't have ACGs, do they? They can't do air bubbles. Only people that can do air bubbles now is Nike, ain't it?
They have everything. They have everything there. Lugs.com. Promo code winner30.
What else is going on in the news, man? Shit.
Chilling, man. I mean, Super Bowl. Wow, Terrance, where did you watch the Super Bowl? I think I saw you cooking and stuff. Were you at home?
Basement. Yeah, I got my projector up, so I was in the basement watching it and getting hurt in the 120-inch HD screen, having my feelings just obliterated.
At widescreen, 16:9, life size.
It hurt.
Damn.
What about you, Eddie? Where did you watch it?
I watched it at work on an iPad, and then I went over to State Fair. Shout out State Fair in Catonsville, where we normally run our run our Thursday show, a Thursday Thursday night late show, right?
It's
State Fair, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's how white trash I am. You said State Fair, and I immediately thought of the frozen corn dogs.
They actually have corn dogs.
Yep.
I mean, I'm so New England. I was like, wait,
if you name your restaurant State Fair, you better have corn dogs. So I'm just saying.
Like bacon wrapped, deep fried, battered Oreos.
There's a joint in Kansas City that has pork belly corn dogs.
With that team.
Amazing.
I think it's fair game. You know,
Right.
If you're into pork, I don't know. So I guess, a lot of people hate on pork nowadays. I don't. I still love pork, but yeah.
I'm not gonna say I like pork. I'm not gonna say I don't like pork.
Foolishness. Pork is fantastic. I'll take pork over chicken most days.
That's why we're all gonna fucking die from health issues because we're eating so much red meat and pork.
Actually,
Yo, why do you sound like you have an echo, bro?
Me?
No, Lord, yeah.
I don't know. Why do I have an echo? Terrance, do you have an echo?
Amazing.
I don't hear an echo.
Boom.
Yo, you guys are gonna keep taking up for each other, and it's
No,
so
I just said
weird.
I didn't hear an echo.
It's so weird that you guys
Did
take
you guys
up
know
for each
that
other.
ounce for ounce, pound for pound, pork chops, lean pork chops, are leaner than chicken breast? They have more protein and less fat.
Less
For real?
trichinosis though in chicken breast.
For real.
Like 100% less.
Hold on, what? Say this again. It's less trichinosis.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's less trichinosis, bro?
Trichinosis is the thing that makes you sleepy in poultry.
Oh no. Trichinosis is the shit that kills you.
Man, my bad. I'm an idiot.
You're all the way off on that one, my guy.
Trichinosis is the fucking worms.
Is the disease. Look, man, I'm dumb as shit too. Let me get in trouble and be dumb. I don't care.
I mean,
This is
you're
the guy
not
who's
right.
protecting us from terrorists.
Trichinosis does put you to sleep. I mean, permanently, but you know.
Yeah. It's the wrong kind of sleep.
Hold on.
What happened? Did he just roll out?
He
Hold
said
up.
he'd be right back.
He said he's gonna be right back. Well, shit. Then fuck him. Hey, I think somebody just jumped in. Is that Turae?
There's the
Finally,
OG
right?
himself.
Finally, right?
The OG himself.
My bad, man. I'm so sorry, bro. I left out the house. I'm always wrong. I ain't leave the house till 7 o'clock. So I knew I wasn't gonna be back by 8. I'm like, I can make it. But you know how it is when the weed man call, you gotta go then. So yeah.
Eddie, you muted yourself, bro. Eddie, you muted yourself, bro.
I can hear.
Yeah.
No,
So what's
but
up,
people on
Turae?
the other
How
side
you
can
doing,
hear.
sir? It's good to see you.
I'm good, fellas, man. How y'all be, man? Thank y'all for having me first and foremost. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No,
Thank you for
thanks
coming
for
on,
stopping
man.
by. You the one doing us a favor.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I gotta get this out the way, right? So the first time I met Turae, I don't know if you remember this, Turae. We had the basketball tournament, and it was like Philly versus Jersey. I think it's two teams in Jersey and
Top
DC.
flight joint.
Top flight joint. And and I didn't know who you were. Me and you, I rocked with you, right?
Good.
And the only thing I remember is at the end of the game, I was tired as shit. And they tried to give you the ball. I was like, fuck this. It just fouled you all the way.
I remember that. Sent me to
I
the
literally-
line. Oh, I sunk 2 for the game winner, baby.
Yeah.
well, because people need to understand if they don't know Turae is tall as shit.
Right.
Yo,
Like
Turae,
he's 6'4",
he's taller
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah, I was about to say
Hey.
there's not too many men in general that I feel like I got to look up. I mean, I'm not the tallest dude, but I'm 6'1", so it's not like every dude I got to look up to. But I actually first met you at the Hamptons at Derek Brooks' show,
Yeah.
where you were just dropping knowledge and game, and I was very appreciative of it.
Yes, sir.
But I was like, I thought he was tall based on the videos and everything, but god damn. Like,
No,
It's
that
different
motherfucker's
when it's
tall,
on the
man.
court with you.
Yo, listen. And that was like the messed up part was like everybody was like, all right, you're gonna play center. I'm like, nigga, I'm 6'5" and fat. I can play small forward.
But what it is, Eddie, is when you tall and people around you aren't, they just assume you tall like the other tall dudes. Like
Right.
I've been to a party with Shaq, And when you walk in the party, you see Shaq no matter where you at in the party.
Right.
Like you could be.
Right.
He was. I was in an arena. He was all the way on the other side. Like, damn, that's Shaq. I'm not that hype. You know what I'm saying? I can get missing in a crowd of NBA dudes. So when you are height, it's like, oh, you play center. No,
dog. So listen, I'm bouncing, right? I'm bouncing at Capital in DC. Right. This is the year that Miami wins with D-Wade, LeBron, and Ray Allen. Okay. Right? So Ray Allen everybody, they all come in the club. First off, their center at the time, forgot his name, is shorter than LeBron, right? But either way, Ray Allen's about to leave. When Ray Allen's about to leave, I walk out with Ray Allen and walk him to the bus. I'm the same height as Ray Allen.
Right.
Like, I'm like, no, nigga, I am a shooting guard. Y'all stop trying to make me a center, nigga. Yeah. I'm supposed to be Jesus Shuttleworth out here, son.
That's how I felt seeing Derek Fisher out on the court. Because Derek Fisher's 6'1", and I'm looking at him over everybody else, and he's at shoulder height at best. And I'm like, I ain't got it. Yeah. Plus, I'm white. I ain't got it. Nope.
You know, man.
Huh? But hey, so Lloyd in the corner.
What's going on, yo?
Put baby in the corner.
There's only 4 of us. We're all in corners, bro. That's how squares work.
Pretty much.
So Turae, let's get to the questions, bro.
Yeah. Can I ask a real quick question? That's Samore's brand on your hoodie, right? So that's not okay.
That's it, because when you was just down, you was just down with Samore, right?
Yeah, just how was that? Tampa, she had a little Super Bowl. It was called I forget the theme. She called it Samore Social, the Samore Chandelier Social. So it was like a Super Bowl party comedy show that she had at her house. So yeah, it was nice.
I remember seeing that on Instagram, and I know she's always, Chandelier Life is some of her posts. So quick reference, giving a shout out. My bad, I didn't want to.
Hey man, listen, I always give shout outs to Big Sis, man. She keep it popping, and she always keep me in mind. So I can never be hating on that. I appreciate it.
Nah, so what are you doing throughout the pandemic besides hanging out with Samore? Oh, braggadocious ass.
Hey, keep it 100. Samore wasn't fucking with nobody. Like, I just seen her for the first time since last year. Like, she was
for real.
She shut it down. Really, man, family. I have kids, so I have 3 teenagers that are in the house with me. I'm a black entertainer, so I got a bunch of kids. But 3 of them are in the house with me and my lady. My lady is frontline medical worker, so we can't really. We fight COVID directly here at this house, but we really can't be living a life of fear because my kids still work. They work in retail. They have jobs at like little mall jobs. They still going to work. Sure, their school is virtual because in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I'm at, there's no in class, so they're home all day, and then But I mean, really been just holding it together. Kind of missed the mom in it, man. Like I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I'm washing a lot of clothes. Like I'm really on my home improvement thing. I done put together some furniture in here. I bought a pantry. I put that together last week. So
what you went to IKEA?
No, man. Home Depot, man. IKEA. I used to work at IKEA. I used to work. One of my first jobs was in IKEA. I don't know. I used to work there and don't know how to put none of that shit together. So
Turae, good as shit with an Island Ranch out this bitch.
All directions with no words.
In Pennsylvania, we when the pandemic first hit, we definitely did a shelter in place. So they shut a lot of things down. One of the only places that stayed open was Home Depot. When I tell you I was up in there for the seminars, nigga, just to get out the house. I got some time to cut, but I was in there taking notes, had my pencil behind my ear, like
you don't even own power tools, man. Just going to
right. I don't own none of that shit.
I live in an apartment.
Look, I bought a wrench set, and we don't got no more leaks around this fucking house. Shit leaked for years, man. It leaked for years. I never bothered with it. I was like, man, fuck it. We got that wrench set now. I'll be sitting there going, is that leaking? I got a wrench for that. So,
I know how to rock it.
Really, I did put out 2 comedy albums. During the pandemic. Staying in the art in the form of the art, yeah, I stayed there with the comedy album because directly, and I think I remember telling Trav this, money comes from that. I get a royalty check every month from Sound Exchange. And my logic was, when I was first getting them and I'm working and doing so many things, I was kind of happy about it. Like, okay, an extra couple of dollars. Well, when the work slowed down, I was like, well, what would make my royalty checks bigger? More content. So I put out more albums. So, and that was a successful thing for me because the more albums, more content mean more plays, more spins. So it made my royalty checks bigger. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I really didn't. The virtual shows, man, I'm not good at them. I'm good at this because we just talking.
Right. Exactly.
Shows where you gotta be funny.
Yo, would nobody in front of you?
Dude, I bombed so bad on Chocolate Sunday, I ain't even sending my W-9. I was like, don't worry about it. I don't want to take no money on that one.
Yeah. Don't give me no credit on that shit.
I want to forget it ever happened alone.
I don't need nobody knowing. You think I want the government to know that I did this? So yeah, man. So the virtual shows wasn't for me. I did a couple outside shows. I'm okay with that. As long as the setup is where people can hear and enjoy the show, you're going to be all right with that. But yeah, I the virtual stuff wasn't for me, man. So I just really been staying busy. I filled out everything. So I'm going to have to go to jail for about 3 to 5 years, but it's going to be fat time. Jesus. You know what I mean? Not fat time. Listen, I told them I was an unemployed comedian. They sent me enough money to start a record label. Ain't nobody tell them to send me all that money. So,
so what's your record label called?
I'm signing to my label.
Turae the Truth.
Raping You Records is the name of the label. Ain't nobody on my label going for recoup. I don't give a fuck what your album sold.
Yep.
I went 10 times platinum. You know what? The budget was crazy on that first.
Yo, video. You can't. Oh, you gonna be a Birdman? Oh,
the budget on your first video. Did you know how much it cost to rent a Terrance? I know you didn't think it was gonna be that expensive.
You hit them with the people's drink. The people's. Yo, I bought you a RAV4. I bought you a RAV4.
No chrome, alloy only. Alloy only, no chrome.
2005 to 2010, your choice.
Yo,
low mileage.
That's funny. So what you got? What's the plans for Philly, man? Because I know you got the Comedy Institute or what is the Comedy University, right? I don't want to mess the name
Philadelphia Comedy College. It's going virtual. We finally got the platform together to get it on a virtual level where it's easy. I'll be talking with the tech dudes. They can work, as I call it, I'll be like for dummies. But we needed the technology.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
We need the website to be able to just log on, select the class, and get into it. So we finally got the website up to that standard. So yeah, man, we're going to start Philadelphia Comedy College virtual. Actually, in the state of Pennsylvania, city of Philadelphia, in March, April, things will start to open back up. So we'll have a couple more of these venues back up and running. Warm Daddies will return, and I'll be able to do soul comedy there, which was the longest running comedy show actually in the country. And we did 6 years. Shit. We had got to 6 years with that before we stopped. So it was a great, show. And then Punchline, I do a lot of stuff with Punchline and Live Nation. So that'll all be back in effect March, April. But right now, we're just biding our time, man, making sure we're ready.
How do you think that's going to change? Like, I know that we're different now. Post COVID, it's going to be different. Like, how different do you think it'll be once we get back into the swing of things?
I think people will be just really more aware of other people in their proximity. Like the freedom of us just being out and about. Some of us are still going to do it. I mean, I've been out. I've been in Atlanta.
You were in Tampa just now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I've been to Atlanta 5 times. They said if you can make it through the A, you good.
Hey, yo. Hey, if you can make it through the A, son.
I was in Atlanta at Uptown. You know, when you're a 47-year-old comedian, blood smoking, pretty much don't give a fuck about life type attitude. I love life, but I'm never going to have nobody dictate terms to me.
Right.
You know, when you have that dude in the club and you look around and tell your squad, Put your mask on, man. Like literally, I was in Uptown like, put your mask on.
No, that's like being in the hood. Be like, everybody got their guns,
right?
Niggas changed though. Hey, everybody got their masks.
Right,
everybody
got so it was like, so I think we're going to really pay attention to that. Like, I can see that. I can see people going, man, I want to go to that show, but I don't want a whole bunch of people. So that's still going to exist. So
do you think that's going to mess up like the capacity or the ability to sell tickets? Like how do you?
No, I think it'll be those people that want to go will go. Those that won't will remain, they're in attendance virtually. Those that don't want to get back into the crowd will make that choice. I think that's how it'll change. Whereas opposed before we would just go, where everybody else going.
Free tickets. Free tickets, I'll just be there.
Right. It's going to be like, nah. That's how they're going to justify. Hey, man, the ticket was free. How safe can it be?
Well, Turae, I mean, is Turae really worth dying for? Maybe.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, man, I think that's what we'll change. Events, leisure, activities, entertainment. It'll definitely be want to. We're going to want to leave our house. We're going to want to go to certain events. So,
what do you feel like Philly is now as far as like the top of scenes, right? The top of scenes, because LA and what is it? LA and New York are basically everybody's like they're gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At least for the time being.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like Philly is like? Do you think Philly's going to start to move into that spot where people are going to start to try to move to Philly or not?
Nah. You see Philly?
That was quick.
That wasn't even a hesitation. What else you got? You got something else? No, man, it's like this. Right now, Atlanta is the comedy capital of the world. As much as we want to be artists and we really think we matter, we don't matter more than the business, the industry. And the industry and the business is still venues. And venues have to be able to make money. And Atlanta is one of the only places where venues can still make money. They have no capacity restrictions. They can bring in an act and pay them, what they're supposed to get paid. Dave Chappelle went to Atlanta to do a weekend. It ended up being 2 weeks. Yeah. Because they just kept adding shows. And I mean, he was like, well, I can't really perform nowhere else. And so that's places that like, Atlanta's going to win because they already had a scene. They have a nightclub scene. They have a party scene. They have a comedy scene.
A strip club scene.
Miami, Florida doesn't have a scene. So it's like people go to Florida for vacation or leisure or to hang out. So it really doesn't have a comedy scene that's going to move on its own. Like right now, I think the next spot is Atlanta.
Are we seeing new venues opening up in Atlanta? Like just taking advantage of that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not because what we're doing is we're doing the urban style, Lee. It might not be the improvs or the punchlines, but it'll be comedy night at such and such. And there's a lot of them. There's like a K-Dub, who's a friend of mine, was like, man, I just started another room. Like that, and Mark Henderson, who's another comedian friend of mine, who's moved from Mark is a clean comedian. He doesn't, he doesn't curse, but he's super funny. Moved from Chicago to LA. Couldn't get on stage as he liked in LA. Moved from LA to New York. Was rocking in New York, but wasn't getting movement upward in New York. Moved back to LA right before the pandemic. So then he moved to Atlanta. He told me, he said, I've never been nowhere where I can get on stage every night. I just told this man moved to Chicago, LA, and New York. He said, in Atlanta, I'm on stage every night.
It seems like in Atlanta, they have like that, I won't say brotherhood, but it feels.
Oh.
What'd you say?
He got muted.
I'm muted. So, yeah, no, it feels like it's almost like a brotherhood or a sisterhood or just a family setting where it's like everybody fucks with everybody, and if they don't fuck with them, somebody else fucks with them.
Yeah,
that fucks with, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's connected like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think LA is cliquish like hell. Like, well, is that true?
Yeah.
Or am I just looking at it wrong?
No. I mean, everything is about opportunity, bro. Like we all comedians or rolling comedy. So if there's some point, like you said, I met y'all at different places. We're always going, unless I did something wrong to y'all, we kind of always gonna be cool. So when I see you down the line 3 years and you got a sitcom or you in a movie, it's going to be at least, yo, what up? Like that.
Right.
I call that being in the union. We all union, right? Well,
that's the word. That's the word.
Right. Well, when we get out of LA, it's only 3 union jobs. There's 3,000 of us. So yeah, you my man, but fuck that.
you my man, but niggas die every day.
So, if you notice, if you spend any time in LA, who are the coolest comedians when you get to LA? The niggas that already made it.
True.
When you get true, like, yo, Deion Cole, cool as shit. Yeah, he got his already. You know what I mean?
He's already eaten. He's been eaten. It don't matter at this point.
And you can tell
asshole. Yeah,
you can tell how successful somebody is by how many people he comes with. Like when you first start, like it's nobody. And then you're like, oh, you got a little something, you maybe got a room, like, oh, 3-4 people, you got a show, 12 people, you Joe Rogan, the whole club.
I literally was at a spot with Mike Blackson, who's a dear friend of mine. Mike's a great guy, but Mike's Hollywood. He loves it and he embraces it, but he's a good dude. He's never changed, but he is Hollywood.
I heard he just went and bought a Rolls Royce
over here with some of his squad, and they, he got the list at the door of all his entourage. And I'm talking to a dude, and they go, "Yeah, we got a Chris Williams at the door," and I'm looking like, "This Chris Williams right here." But I ain't say shit. I just kind of glanced. I'm like, so he tapped me like, "Yo, Mike got a limit. He couldn't have that many people in there." I was like, "Oh," because I thought that I didn't know your name after all these. But yeah, he had like 30 people in a place where they were, it was a Live Nation outside event. They had the protocols in effect, and they had limited Mike's guest list to like 15. When I seen it on the rider, I said, "Yeah, we'll see if this happens." He's still in there with like 30 people.
You can only have 15. Sure.
Right. Look, I'm backstage, me and my girl, and they asked her who she is 3 times. I said, "Look, goddamn it, go find one of Mike's people." So yeah, man, you could definitely judge success by how many people they roll with. But I would say a lot of places are cliquish. New York is cliquish, but it's really about
bitch.
Yeah, New York is cliquish. It's really cliquish. They try to act like they're not, but it's really, really cliquish. Especially, I would say New York is more cliquish to people with weak personalities. Like if you have a weak personality, you will think something's wrong with you in New York. You really will. And then you get out. What happens for me is being from Philly, there's always been a little brother type irreverence towards New York. There's always been I will not wear a Yankee hat at all. And I ain't even into baseball like that, but it's something about putting that in NY on my head. I'm like, I'm not from there. That's not me. I'm not gonna claim it because I've no cats from Philly where Yankee hat talking about it match. I'm like, they got a Phillies hat that color, nigga. Fuck out of here.
It's true.
So I think that saved me because New York was always geographically 2 hours north is New York, 2 hours south is DC. So coming up in comedy, I stayed on 95. I was, because I wanted to build those followings both places. And honestly, I couldn't even think that it was about building a following. I never really thought about people following Turae or coming to see Turae. I just wanted the opportunities that those places had outside of Philadelphia. So I always went into these places like, I'm repping Philly. I'm repping me. I don't really need to be in y'all squad or in y'all clique to come and get on y'all stages. I say that to say I always looked at it differently, but I can see how someone who wants to come up and be a joiner or to be part of those cliques could be feeling ostracized because you be looking like these guys are so much better than you. And it's like, they really not. They just here. Yeah. They're in New York. See some of these New York dudes on the road and you be like, oh, you ordinary as fuck.
Like a motherfucker.
Yeah, because none of your jokes leave New York. It's like, hey, you, at the bodega, I'm like, yo, they don't know what a bodega is.
Your subway jokes only last. Yeah, the subway jokes only last within like a 3-mile radius.
The subway jokes only last on the subway.
Right.
And if I say to you, L, if you from Philly, you know what an L is. If you from Chicago, you know what an L is. People don't know what an elevated subway is outside of those cities. They don't. Right. So I say that to say it's not just that simple. It's a swag. It's an attitude sometimes that New York comedians carry. And the funny thing is, I know the comedians that are born and raised in New York, and then I know the transplants that have adopted this New York attitude. You be looking at them like, you're not even from here.
You can't be like that. You can't be like
and then
that.
they come back home and they be acting New Yorkish.
Right. I mean, dude, when I lived in New York, because I call it paying your dues. You got to go pray at the altar. That is the comedy capital of the world. If you can work in New York, you can work anywhere. I distinctly remember being on stage at the Cellar and knowing that the 5 people in the front row can't speak English, but I still got to be able to entertain them. You know, that's another thing. The Cellar is the most prestigious club in New York for artists to work in again. So when I got passed in the Cellar and I'm working at the Cellar, there were dudes in New York that have TV credits up the wazoo asking me how you get in the Cellar. I'm like, motherfucker, I auditioned.
Yep. So that kind of touches on something we've been talking about here recently. How do you feel about the whole vibe of urban rooms versus mainstream rooms, and how does that affect your mind frame going in on one versus the other?
I'm glad y'all got such a diverse panel too, because this is something. No.
Equal opportunity here, Turae.
Right, but that's what I'm
saying. Over here.
It needs to be said, and it needs to be said more than just to me talking to black people. It
Right.
needs to go reverb out. The definition of urban comedy should have never had a color associated to it.
Fact.
I agree.
Because right now, as we sit, urban comedy is created by anything that's not a corporate entity. You know how many little white shows I be at? That's urban comedy. These little bar clubs, and that's all urban comedy. Because they white is not urban,
right?
It's from the muscle. They grinded it up. They did their own show. They did their own promotion. That's urban comedy. Right. There's no club owner. There's no corporate entity telling them what they can't say on stage. That's urban comedy. So, where we come from in urban comedy, with the Def Jam era, bad practice, bro. It's a bad practice. It's a great place to be from, but it prepares you for none of this real business shit.
Can you elaborate on that?
First of all,
be specific.
What time did I log on this motherfucker?
What's that?
What time did I log on this motherfucker?
Late.
That's the first thing you learn. You learn how to be late. Shows start late. Promoters comedians go over their time.
Oh boy.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's no
hosts do 5 minutes in between everybody.
Host lining. You hope it's 5 minutes.
Host lining. Yo, I love using that shit. I didn't even
that's
think
yours.
about
I'm not
that.
Gonna steal it, but that's classic host lining.
I'm gonna say Turae told me you host lining, nigga.
You ain't gonna say Turae. Somebody said it before me. I heard somebody say it. But I'm saying those things, all of the business not being taken care of. And here's the thing: we get used to the business not being taken care of.
Yeah.
We get used to, oh, here he go with this. We get used to let me holler at you right quick. There are so many comedians that look at me sometimes and be like, you be out about your business. At this point in my career, shouldn't we be? Yeah, you're gonna get jerked and burnt first two years in. Yeah, you're gonna be somewhere, you're not gonna get paid. That should happen to you one time. Not repeatedly.
Yeah.
So this is my thing though. Is that urban comedy, or do people take advantage of it inside of urban practice?
And so what happens is, because there's no corporate entity, because there's no responsible financial party at the top of this, it's you're dealing with whoever that is. If he bought his bit, we all know both sides. We know the promoter we've never had a problem with, and then we know the promoter that we've never worked for again.
Yep.
But they both in the same. They both in the same company. You know, they work in the same field basically.
Right.
So IBM don't be nowhere where another lesser computer company be. Either IBM buy that or they don't do business like that. So that's the problem with urban comedy, is that we all commingle. Like the good promoters is in with the bad promoters. The good comedians is in with the bad comedians. And that teaches a certain expectation from us, teaches a certain expectation from crowd. Like I've had crowds come, like I had to start training my crowd. With soul comedy, so to speak. I got an 8:30 showtime advertised. We starting the show at 8:45. I don't care who's here. As long as there's
Right.
a host and a comedian, headliner may not be here,
Right,
feature
right.
may not be here, but we get this show started because what you don't want is people walking in going, "Oh, well, ain't nobody going up until."
Yeah. That's what we tried. So me and Lloyd ran a show, or we still have a show at the Hideout in Laurel.
Okay.
And that was one of the things at 8 o'clock. We kept saying 8 o'clock, the show stopped. 8
Sorry.
o'clock, the show stopped. And then like 8:15 was the show, and the headliner wasn't there. It was like,
we got to stretch.
We gotta start the show. Yeah, but it was really annoying because it was like, and I think we still sometimes we still fuck up, and it's like, let's wait for the crowd to get here.
Nope.
Because everybody, if you say 8 o'clock, then a lot of the time, sometimes, especially after when COVID hit, like the last couple months leading up to COVID, we were good, right? We started, the crowd would walk in at the end. We already knew it, right?
Right.
If we'll start with like 10 people, and then by the end of the show, it's 45, 50 people in no seats. You get what I'm saying? So like they started, but when COVID came, that was the hard part. So how do you stay with no matter what? 8:45, let's go. How do you keep that in your head?
Consistency is key. To build anything, consistency is key. Repetition, doing it the way. Because here's what I used to tell my squad. I'm like, there's somebody here for the first time tonight. They got to leave with the same experience as the person that's here every Wednesday. You know, it shouldn't get cheapened because, we started late or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like my co-host, Buck, used to, he had season tickets to the Sixers. On Wednesday, there was Sixers. We would all, for some reason, on Wednesday, there would all be a Sixers home game. He would leave. Like, I got to be at the show by 8 certain time to start the show.
Wow.
Because I would start without him, and he would know that. I got to start it.
Yo, that's funny.
I got to get white on you.
I think
for lack of a better word. But if I got to start it, then and when I get off stage, not the host of the show, well, what I need you for?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna dock you. You don't like me messing with your money? Don't mess with my time. There has to be someone whose job is an asshole and don't care about nothing but the show. Unfortunately for me, it was me.
It was me too.
It was me. I had to be, and I have to be the host of the show and be funny. It's not the easiest thing to do, but I'm capable of it. But I tell you, someone has to do it. Someone gotta go.
Someone's got to be a hammer.
Hey, Turae, thank you so much for making me feel better about myself.
Hey man, somebody do, because here's the thing. It ain't us. It ain't even the comedians. It's the money, man. Somebody paid they good. Like we always, being in entertainment is a blessed thing. We'll get paid $300-400 from a show and spend $60 on drinks and not think about it. Man, people work hard for their money out here, man. That's $60 to a family sometimes is what they have to spend on entertainment this month. And they chose to come to your show with it. You gonna start an hour late. I gotta go work in the morning.
Look, I'm
paying for a babysitter.
Turae talk about late. This nigga 15 minutes late.
So one thing though,
consistency.
Hey, y'all wasn't sitting here not broadcasting, was you?
Hey, no. Yeah. Hey, Lloyd. Hey, listen. I literally, my computer went down. I said, "Hey, Lloyd, start without me, bro."
Gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it doesn't look good, guys. I'm gonna say it doesn't look good at all, gentlemen.
Because the Asian and the white guy showed up on time.
When the Asian guy shows up before you fucked up.
I can't say that. I'll get canceled.
You can't say shit. Look, Turae, look, just before we close out, that was the funny part about me and Lloyd's show. Was right. It's because I didn't know that there was a stigma that Asian people showed up late. I didn't know. Like you always hear about black people. I never heard about Asian people.
That?
Dude, so I would show up late, then Lloyd would show up late. I would show up late, then Lloyd would show up late.
Asian Standard Time, 10 to whenever we get there.
Right.
I get military too long, man.
Because here's the thing, you really don't know what Asians be doing in the house.
Fact.
They gotta do a lot of shit in the house, man.
I don't even know. I feel triggered. I feel accused of something. I just don't know what it is.
Man.
Yo, hey, we do got hard out, but what do you got for the people, especially like the lower comics? Because you help comics become successful. Every time a comic makes it out of Philly, they say Turae.
Turae.
Yes.
Every time. The biggest comic traveling right now is Kevin. The most out there comic, right? Is Kevin Hart. And I'm saying his name like I know him because speaking to fruition.
That's how you do it, bro.
but the biggest comic out right now is Kevin Hart. And I listen to the business shit that he talks about. But your name keeps coming out of his mouth, bro.
Always.
So that tells me like you help young comics all the fucking time. So during this time right now, right? What is your words of wisdom to the younger comics coming up?
Oh man, stay creative, stay creating. And just remember we're artists. Like the blessings didn't stop because the world got to deal with a pandemic. We got to deal with this. It's something, this part of the perks of being a free world. We got to deal with things like a pandemic when they come up, but they didn't stop to be living a blessed existence. And I always tell comedians that, like, we tell jokes for a living. We're not essential. Right. As you can see, there's nobody.
They didn't give no fucks about us.
Right. There wasn't nobody going, what we need? We need that comedian relief fund. That's what we need. We don't give a fuck. So I say that to say, please don't forget your purpose. Please don't forget who you are as a comedian, and don't forget the artistry of being a comic. It may not be stage time right now. It may not be about the stage, but it's about writing, organizing, getting your thoughts together, getting your business together. This is while you're being sat down, make sure you get your taxes in order. Make sure you get your personal life in order. Your license suspended, get that straight. So when the world open back up, you can get back on the road. Like, take care of self and get prepared. I guess that's to make it short, sweet. Take care of yourself and get prepared, because it's not going to be like this. And what it's going to be is right out the gate. Like, nobody's waiting. Nobody's waiting.
Not for nobody.
Everybody's sitting home right now. Think about it like that. Everybody's sitting home right now. Even I'm in a Madden chat with JB Smooth, and JB like, I ain't been out the house. Like, he goes out, but he's like, I'm not even thinking about tour, none of that. So there are a lot of big names that are like, I'm not even messing with it right now. But I'm writing this. Roy Wood Jr. told me he got 2 movies already written. So if you think everybody's sitting waiting, they're not. And neither should you be.
Yo, let's end it on that note, man. Yo, Turae, you the shit, bro. I really do appreciate
That's his
you, man.
Instagram handle at the bottom, Comedy by Turae. Where else can they find you, OG?
That's pretty much it. That's where my baby mom always find me.
That's why I'm mad with it. That's why I'm mad with it. Straight out.